Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome from the frosty depths of Texas.
Yes, much like Conan's Ancient Hyperborea.
Yes.
It's a little chilly out today, which is actually typically what would have been expected, for like the last several months. But for us, we were all like 80 and 90 degree temperatures.
Hell yes.
It's like 60 degrees outside. It's not cold.
It was like 50. It was 50 when I left today. I had to put a jacket on.
And
that's because you are weak, Randy.
It's also damp and nasty.
Yes, it's also damp and nasty.
Miss Jackson, if
which,
you're nasty.
Which is what Dave used to rap under. Damp and nasty.
That is true.
I thought it was cold and nasty.
Damp Master D.
So anyway,
ladies call me. We're back here again in the new year. We've got some comics to talk about.
It's a good week of comics, I think.
Week of comics.
There's some notable
It's
stuff.
one of those slightly unusual ones. Like, there's not like too many huge releases, but there is like KO.
I liked a lot of the stuff I read this week.
Yeah. It's a good week.
Before we get to that, though, let's talk about the games we got. We got a little game called Oh My Socks, which is it's a sock matching game. You match pairs.
I already lived this game.
It says, will you end up with the best collection, or will the washing machine card bring the game to an unexpected end?
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Is this like, I assume it's got to be a lighter weight game.
Yeah, for sure.
If you were to tell me it was like a heavy game that takes like 3 hours, so that would be hilarious. And wouldn't be completely bonkers in our store.
It's true. I mean,
versus the washing machine.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most complex games we have is about making musical instruments. So
that's true.
Twilight Imperium RPG gets a second book, The Ships of the Shattered Empire, which is Starships. This is the Twilight Imperium RPG. It's based on what's it called? Not Game Genic System. It's Genesis. The Genesis system.
Oh yeah.
Same one that I think sort of the Star Wars games are based on loosely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do know that every time I look at Twilight Imperium, much like when I used to, and still when I look at the remember the '80s game Cosmic Encounter?
Yes.
Which is revived continually in all the decades since. Their aliens and their civilization stuff and their lore looks so fun and cool.
Yep.
It makes me want to hang out in that universe. So yeah.
Do you want to spend 10 hours playing a board game?
No, we got to stop pitching it that way.
Look, that is true. You have
First
to
of all,
warn
by the
people.
way, the people who do it, they like it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but it's
I don't know if you guys
weekend
have ever done an all-day game. Like, if you sit down with friends and play a game all day, it could be a ton of fun. I used to play Axis and Allies when I was in high school. I just don't have that kind of time
What
anymore.
I don't know in these big games, though, is in many games, there's a point when you're like, I'm behind the curve notably, and I'm probably not going to win this. And I was like, if I were to find out at that point that there's still 4 more hours left, I might go walk off a cliff.
There is that. I've talked to people who they were like, it was very clear who was going to win the game, and they're like, and we had to keep playing.
Right.
And that can be soul crushing.
Now that said, I suspect some of these games have some methods for comebacks.
Yes.
Or let me try this long shot, this Hail Mary pass and see if I can, maybe if I can collect all of these cards, I can come through in the end.
What if you just push that friend into a closet and lock it and subsume his role, and then you win, right?
The person who's winning and goes in the closet?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I mean, I think that's a solid plan.
We got in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG, which is based on the old Palladium game. It actually is the old Palladium game.
Full title, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness.
Full title, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness Redux Edition RPG.
Oh, thanks, Randy. I was very obsessed with this as a kid. It was kind of... I would occasionally buy RPGs that I didn't play because I didn't know anybody who had them or know any other RPG nerds. But this one I was obsessed enough that I actually did run some sort of little solo adventures for my best friend at the time, and I made a zillion characters in it.
Yeah.
Character creation is wildly fun.
It is.
And also it had cool illustrations from the original creators and some of their earliest artists. I noticed that I think they've taken that and what was black and white, they've colorized it.
So the hardcover, the main book has the original RPG, Turtles Go Hollywood, and Truck and Turtles source books. And in addition to the original stuff, they've colored all the art. including an 8-page comic story originally created by Eastman and Laird for the RPG.
Yep.
They've added work by Freddie Williams, Sophie Campbell, David Peterson, other people.
Wow, those are absolutely some of their best artists.
They also have like written tributes, a story behind the making of. It's like a full-on deluxe edition of it. So if you have any kind of nostalgia for this game, this is a really good edition. In addition to the main game,
I think if you just like the idea of like the Ninja Turtles, or creating cool people like them, because here's the thing: is you don't just play a turtle in it. The biggest draw was
any animal.
You could roll on this chart that had like 100 animals, and I'm not kidding. I mean, there's like 100 animals just to start with, and you can probably work up your own. But and there, I always remember there's sample in it. Because they wanted to show how you could take anything and make it cool. Was some dude who rolled a sparrow, and he's like, "Oh man!" And then he's like, "No," he's like, "This is going to be the Sparrow Hawk. He's going to be like this little kind of badass who's with like nunchucks and like spiked weapons and stuff." And so it walks you through the process of how they made that into a cool character. And there's like an illustration of the character by like Eastman and Laird. Like, I mean, it's really cool.
There's also the Transdimensional Adventures hardcover, which has the Transdimensional TMNT, the TMNT Adventures, and the TMNT Guide to the Universe sourcebooks. So 3 original sourcebooks all in one. Same deal, but it's got time travel, spaceship creation, dimensional magic, and adventures.
It sounds like the only thing that they haven't done is After the Bomb.
I noticed that,
which was their Mad Max type scenario. Because there was a few, and there was a few for that.
So there's 2 hardcovers,
including Mutants Down Under.
There's a Game Master screen and GM kit. It is a really nice production of it.
Yeah, that's fun.
We also got in, after a long bit of people asking for it, the Mothership RPG.
Right.
This is a what they call OSE, old
OSR,
school OSR style alien. It's actually sci-fi horror is the vibe.
Right. Yeah. So the biggest influences I heard were things like Aliens and Dead Space. And stuff like that. And I might have mentioned this last week or something when it came up, or maybe when we were talking about upcoming RPGs for our looking forward to in 2026. That the Reddit thread I found on it I thought was kind of funny, because people were saying the rules are nothing like amazing, but like the actual scenarios that it comes with are really fun and like super cool to play. Like he said some of the funnest play sessions they and their players have ever had.
Well, in addition to the new box set that's got dice and an introductory module, all of the modules are available separately. They're little booklets called Orphans, Gradient Descent, Pound of Flesh, Another Bug Hunt, and Dead Planet, which are all different variations of sci-fi horror, different speeds. And I don't know if you looked at this, there's a super cool deluxe set that has all the modules and the basic set and some extras in it, including like little cardboard cutouts. And it is a really cool looking deluxe set. So if you've been wanting to get into like a sci-fi horror, that is a ton of gaming in one box.
I think it probably leans a little into the like tactical side of things, so you're gonna like be looking for like a team of cool and badass specialists and stuff to make your way through it. But I suspect that the players don't necessarily always know what they're going up against, so you're not going to go whether it's some weird mutating thing like The Thing or in Dead Space, or whether they're straight xenomorphs like in Aliens.
Straight up xenomorphs,
or maybe like bugs like in what do you call
Starship
it? Starship Troopers, the Burbs.
The Burbs?
I said the Bergs. I was saying it the way Paul Verhoeven says it in the behind-the-scenes stuff.
I thought, I've never seen the Burbs, the Tom Hanks joint, and I thought maybe I'd missed that there was, in fact, bugs in it.
Nick does like to bring up the Burbs at every opportunity.
Nick, are there bugs in the Burbs?
No.
Oh. Well, then I've lost interest.
You should watch it.
There's a new Burbs series coming on Peacock.
I know. Is that Keke Palmer?
It is Keke Palmer, I believe, yes.
Is it too much Burb?
Will there be bugs in these Burbs?
It's possible. You never can discount that there might be bugs.
Anyway, the last thing to mention is the Patchwork Revised Edition.
This looks cool.
Patchwork is one of our best-selling 2-player games. It's designed by
Ewing Rosenberg.
Who what's his big claim to fame?
Agricola.
And some other of those kind of heavier games like that. But this is like his cool, lighter 2-player game. Of like sort of matching like quilts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're getting little. It's what they call a polyomino, which we all would call Tetris.
Yep.
And you basically have a board where you're trying to complete your quilt by putting these spaces down, all these little colored pieces that match, and They have buttons on them, and the buttons give you more points to spend the next turn. Okay. It's a really simple, clever game. One of my favorite 2 players.
And so, what is the new thing? Is it just revised?
It's just a revised edition, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Just like a new quilts.
They took out their typo where they spelled it as qualtz.
Yes,
That's a different.
The game of quilt
thing.
making.
Yes. All right, on that note, let's talk about comics for the week.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm going to start with a couple big, not finales, but big issues this week.
Yep.
DCKO number 3. I really, really liked this. We've talked numerous times about how they didn't just take the Mortal Kombat premise and do, here's all the characters fighting. They added some twists and turns. This number 3 has a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah, and the main book is kind of like where the most interesting kind of contests come down, and the side series are where they do the focused fight stuff. So they, in a way, that you did kind of get the Mortal Kombat things, although even those were always more thought out than just like 2 people stand in an arena and fight until one of them is dead.
But this is the top 8.
Yep.
And there's a twist as to how they fight, which I thought was a very clever twist.
Yep.
Some good character stuff. And then in addition to the fights, there's some cool surprises, some nice callbacks to some other stories, and a hell of a surprising last page, which apparently Nick knew all about because Nick stays plugged into all the spoilers online, and Dave and I don't.
There was something in here I wasn't expecting, and I thought it was one of the coolest ideas at play.
Nice.
Yeah, that is a very cool one. And also that the thing that happens at the end, like I haven't heard like our customers talking about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's still it's not super well known, and I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited by something that happens at the end of this.
Yeah.
Snyder's taking the concept of video game fighting and kind of turning it on its head by giving us.
I think he shows that it doesn't have to mean that there's no story.
Right.
But really, a lot of these are like chances for like character to really shine.
Yeah.
I feel like the Joker in particular.
Yeah.
Like none of us are like, oh, we love to see the Joker kill people, but the Joker is a strong foil at many times, and he's written very, very interesting and dangerously here, and like he is an interesting. He brings something to this story. I think
this is one of the most compelling and interesting that Lex has been for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
He's evil and menacing, but there's something else to him as well.
Yeah.
And seeing this side of the heroes, too, is interesting. More kind of cutthroat because they have to be.
Yeah. Without saying what they do in this and how it works, the previous issue was the one where there was like the interesting sort of fighting scavenger hunt, where they were fighting to get superhero weapons that they could take with them and stuff like that to then do subsequent rounds. And, so you had all these dust-ups and skirmishes between people in this chaotic search.
Yep.
And this in the same way that was a really cool, fun surprise filled with interesting interactions, same goes for this one.
Yeah, for sure.
It has a great array of variant covers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of good variant covers on it this week.
DC cover game, kicking butt.
Yep. So, we also have the finale of the Dreadnought War in G.I. Joe. We've been really enjoying this.
The Dreadnoughts were elevated from being just like a kind of a quartet of like weirdos, working for Cobra that were just kind of like their bruisers in the 80s. Not that they were bad. Like I love those Dreadnoughts. Yeah. To like they emphasize the kind of their big full gang organization. When you go up against them, if they bring out their full might, you're looking at like dozens of people in the battle, if not more overall. Lots of vehicles. They've
got a very Fury Road vibe.
Yeah, and they're kind of wily. They kind of were as Hawk. Was it Hawk?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Duke.
No, Duke.
As Duke and Cobra Commander were kind of forced to be on the run together, very much, at least initially, that kind of handcuffed together, we got to work together sort of thing.
Yep.
The Dreadnoughts at almost every turn were more brutal and clever than they thought.
Yep.
And
you got Road Pig.
It all builds to some crazy stuff in this final
I did not have a Duke Cobra Commander Midnight Run style buddy comedy as the spine of this.
Yeah.
It was not what I was expecting. No. But it worked out great. Yeah, there's a couple big things that have been developing in the background come to the light
that
this
we can't
issue.
even talk about for sure.
And it has a fantastic last page reveal.
Yeah. If you're in on these characters, this is going to be a very satisfying issue for you.
For sure.
My one gripe is I want Duke to be a better person.
Duke is a little bit of a meathead.
Yeah,
he's a super meathead.
He's just a military guy. He's
But he's not. But traditionally, Duke is also like a kind of like a little sharper too.
It's true.
Yeah,
He's actually like more so than on the cartoon. He's like all impulse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He has like had one goal this whole time, which is he's like, we keep Cobra Commander alive, even though he's had opportunities to kill him, because he's like got such good information that taking him is the priority one over everything. And then it leads to some interesting stuff.
I mean, I guess
issue.
it makes sense. He is still focused, laser focused, in fact, on the fact that the Transformers killed his best friend.
Yeah.
And that has been kind of consumed him. So
right,
I
it's what led him
understand
to become the person, to like, kind of like, to the founding of this comic, even.
But he just feel like he needs to learn. He keeps doing the same thing.
Yeah. I'm almost like, how, I don't know, there hasn't been any romantic tension with the Baroness on their team right now, right?
No.
I feel like that they need to get together and she needs to be like, Duke, let me tell you how to be a little bit smarter. And then, like, Duke needs that.
It's still
Or
wild.
Duke needs to listen to, who's the analyst guy, whoever that new guy is.
Oh, Risk.
Yeah, he's the risk assessment guy or whatever, yeah.
I'm still baffled that we're 17 issues in and still no Snake Eyes.
I know.
They're clearly not going to do it. They're going to wait till everybody's lost interest, and then they'll bring Snake Eyes in.
It does seem like
crazy.
Like
I'm not mad about it. I think they've done an amazing job with this book.
I agree. It's you know how like Bumblebee and Optimus Prime always take all the air out of the room and Transformer stuff, and you're like, well, when is Prowl gonna have his day? When is Hound gonna have his day? Whatever. They did not. They avoided that in this.
Sir, Hound is getting his day.
Hound will get his day.
But they'll do a Snake Eyes Bumblebee team up book at some point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think that's clever. I imagine that when they were having the meetings, when Kirkman was gathering with the writers and stuff like that, and they were like plotting this out, we've said this before, I think that they made some very intelligent decisions.
They did, for sure.
They were like, okay, yeah, like let's not make it just a Snake Eyes show, and let's make sure that there's always some interesting thing. Every few issues, there's got to be something that really kind of adds something to it, or like, oh wow, that character showed up. Oh, that's how they're interacting with Cobra and the Transformers or whatever. Like, it's always like some interesting thing. Just as an example, here's a neat. That was a neat one from many months ago, so it's not a spoiler anymore. The Cobra laser guns thing.
Yes.
They that was like a cheesy thing that they did on the cartoon. G.I. Joe and Cobra shooting lasers just because they couldn't be shooting bullet guns.
Right.
And even those they missed with all the time.
Yep.
Well, in this case, Cobra makes laser guns using the energon from their alliance with the Decepticons, and like through Destro's armament people. And these things are just brutal killers.
Yep.
And so, like, yeah, it both called back the show, it did something cool and new with it, it tied the two franchises together, and there's just been decision after decision where I'm like, somebody in that room, maybe it's Kirkman himself, maybe it's Williamson, I don't know, it's like really helping him stay on the right track.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it bleeds that Williamson is a fan of this property.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And the afterword that, because maybe we'll talk about it in a second, Transformers was also out this week, and I remember when Kirkman took over, he wrote that afterword to it, where he talked about how the Transformers movie impacted him so hard that he's like, when somebody dies in Walking Dead, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they killed that character. He's like, it's all because Optimus died in that movie. And there is a good issue of Transformers this week. Man, the art is like next level from is it Dan Mora?
Yeah.
The man who's drawing somehow 4 books.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, look at this drawing of RC. That's ridiculously good.
It's really good.
RC, by the way, in it, there's a cool follow-through and some interesting sophistication. She has, what's his name?
Ultra Magnus.
Ultra Magnus has been admittedly because he was going
tortured
through,
for like 1,000 years or some ungodly amount of time.
Right. He essentially has Transformers PTSD of the highest order and recognized it and wants to pass on the Magnus title, which I didn't realize was a title, but sure. And I think RC was selected, and there is some sophistication to how that's being passed down in this issue, and Optimus Prime has some reservations, and it's interesting. But when she Magnus is up, she looks pretty dang cool.
Yeah, she's cool.
I actually love the scene where she kind of, as her first sort of test mission, she sort of does the roll call for the team.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, I mean, first of all, like, these are great headshots of all the characters.
Yep.
And
it did give me Bendis flashbacks.
I feel like I've finally gotten away from it. If they were saying something inane, and at least a few of the characters were saying something only Bendis would, then it would be him.
You're right.
But, like, it's like you see the aerial bots in this. You see some characters who hadn't gotten a lot of time, like Beachcomber, but who's been a part of the book for, like, the last 6 issues, or at least. Anyway, another good issue, and we know that Kirkman's believes in the property.
Yep. Marvel has some new stuff this week. We have Knull #1. Right. That is the King in Black himself, facing off with Hela, the goddess of death.
Right. Well, I mean, it's weird to give Knull his own book, but as a reminder, this is the kind of thing Thanos has had his own book at times. Yep. I'm trying to think. There's been a few other big guns that have had that. Dr. Doom. He's sometimes Carnage. Yep. And this is in fact written by Al Ewing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who? Wait, Ewing.
He's been doing the Venom stuff.
He did the Venom stuff, which we've been liking.
It's also co-written by Tom Waltz, who did a lot of the TMNT stuff over at IDW.
Oh, I didn't know that he was co-writing it, but he's been good.
The artist is Juan Ramirez, someone new to me, but I really like the art style.
Remind me, I don't know what was going on with Knull, who is the symbiote god, and I would assume pretty powerful.
Well, they explore it all in here. They explain this whole deal.
But he gets he has been. This kind of begins with him humbled and imprisoned.
And Venom Brock dethroned him.
Yeah.
Became the King in Black himself.
That was in Venom.
That's become sort of like a moniker or like a title.
Right.
Yeah. And now.
And so, enter a new godlike, literally godlike party of Hela. And that's a pretty cool combo.
Yeah, I like this. I like this quite a bit.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Dungeons of Doom is the new miniseries following up on Doom is dead after the events of One World Under Doom. And so all these factions are going to Latveria trying to grab all his technology and stuff.
And it literally kind of comes to a head right outside his castle.
It includes there's like Latverian partisans, there's a Hydra group, and there's the U.S. Army led by the Red Hulk, General Ross.
Yep.
Who's got a beef with Doom because he kept in prison.
Yep.
Yep. Essentially, is it all triggered sort of by what Red Hulk does? He leaps into the fray and wrecks a bunch of stuff, and it's like they go through the courtyard or something like that,
and they wind up in his dungeons.
They literally wind up in these deep labyrinths below where he's got labs and dungeons and all kinds of stuff, and they're all initially separated. They kind of each group kind of comes to. They're like, "Is everybody okay?" And sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't. A few people get killed in this.
It's almost more like a horror book.
Yeah,
it is. And then they're all like, "Okay, well." So for instance, the partisans, they are like, we know a little bit about this place because one of the people who served Doom smuggled them to the rebels, months or years ago or whatever. So we have a heads up on the other group. But then Hydra's got their cool technology, and the Americans have the Red Hulk.
Yep.
But they are all in the midst of the deadliest person ever in his dungeons with all his automated death traps and weird experiments and stuff. It was a fun first issue.
Yeah, it's cool.
Kind of dark.
It's very dark.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But I think it's going to deliver what people might hope they want from a book called Dungeons of Doom.
Yep.
There's dungeons.
And there's Doom.
The people are doomed in them.
Yep.
And it evokes the game Doom because there's some violence. What else you got, Randy?
Logan, Black, White, and Blood. This is another anthology series. This is interesting. There's 3 stories, and they have a time period underneath the credits. So one is during the Korean War, one is in 1970s New York, and one is after Weapon X. And the writers are Tom Waltz, Saladin Ahmed, and Larry Hama.
Yep. Tom Waltz all over the place today.
Sure.
Artists
include Adam Kubert and Dave Walker. Both of them are really good. There's a really good cover by Adam Kubert.
Yeah. When I was making the sign for this, the thing that struck me when I was looking up the solicit for it was that they said that it was kind of all exploring untold tales from Wolverine's past, basically. And like you said. And I think that's a good idea for an anthology format like this. Let the artists kind of have some fun with the different eras and periods and stuff.
If you're a Wolverine fan, this is
you'll like it.
Buy.
Yeah. Greg Pak is writing Luna Snow World Tour. this is a mini series, right, or is it a one shot? I didn't get just.
I believe it is a mini series.
Nope, it says one shot.
Oh, it's a one shot. Okay.
So Luna Snow is the K-pop heroine who's been very popular in Marvel Rivals and Marvel Snap. And this is her world
She's
tour.
really taken her show on the road as she tries to. It's weirdly having in the wake of the Doctor Doom thing. She was briefly working on for Doom's enforcers before she kind of like really realized how bad things were.
Yeah.
And so there's been some backlash against her from her fans in this. And then, not unlike if you've seen K-pop Demon Hunters, there is a rival who is ready to take advantage of her weakness and try and move in on it. And so this is kind of about what happens as she's trying to rebuild her brand, and obviously some fighting gets in there, and she has to use some ice powers and things.
And there's some cool guest stars that show up too. I will say that.
Psy, it's SAI, Dimensional Rivals. Psy is Peach Momoko's version of Psylocke.
Yep.
Right.
Kind of Feudal Japan.
I think from her like Demon Days or Demon Wars comics where she was doing all the characters.
So this has, in addition to Peach Momoko, also work by Ibn Quello and Stan Sakai and Emi Fuji.
I only know Stan Sakai, the Usagi Yojimbo creator.
I believe Emi Fuji is his new partner, girlfriend, possibly wife. They've worked together a lot on Usagi lately.
So even though this is the character of Psy, a.k.a. Feudal Psylocke, like originates in like a sort of a past setting, this is like some multiversal thing where she's traveling around.
She is being tasked by a version of Galacta to find the possible 7th Infinity Stone.
And Dave, you've definitely seen Ibn Quello's work where he worked on Venom and Dark Ages and Imperial. You've definitely seen his stuff. He's a Spanish artist. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
DC has Wonder Woman Black and Gold 2026 special. This is their, black, white, and gold.
Yep.
The lead story is by Tom King and Mitch Gerads. Tom King, of course, is writing the Wonder Woman book right now. Yep. Mitch Gerads is not the artist on that, though, right?
No, he's not.
But he was his artist on Mr. Miracle and Vision and that kind of stuff. There's one in here, Alyssa Wong, Steve Orlando, Jodie Belair. A lot of nice art. If you're a Wonder Woman fan, it's going to be another anthology of different takes on her by different artists. Tomb Raider, Sacred Artifacts, the new Tomb Raider book by Dark Horse. They've got the license for that. Dark Horse has done a ton of good licensed books. This is the
I can never tell like if this is like based. I guess it's rooted in the most recent games. I know it's not the original.
Although
one.
she is using 2 guns instead of a bow.
Yeah, and it's possible that they have some character that's kind of an amalgamation of it, like the comic character is its own thing. But I suspect it's tied into whatever the most current game stuff is.
Cyberpunk 2077 Chrome #1, a new Cyberpunk book. Boom has the 3rd in their Alice Ever After series, which is where it was started with. It's Alice in Wonderland, but she's like in a mental institution or something like that. It's also a period piece.
People do like their Twisted Alice.
And people really like this. This is Alice Forever After, the 3rd part of that story.
Okay. They like it enough that a 3rd one is out. And I know that when we can, we keep the trade paperbacks in of the other 2 series.
Yep, they do pretty
I don't
well.
know if we have them all in, but I saw at least one of them the other day.
I believe we might. There's a very strange book from Mad Cave called Where Does the Rainbow End? Has interesting indie-style art. It is about a world in which robots and humans lived side by side, and now they're in sort of like there's a lot of robot communities, and one robot who is like a worker robot, he has a lunchbox and everything, finds a human baby and adopts her.
Okay. I was flipping through this and I liked the art.
The art's really cool. It's a very weird indie book, but I kind of dug it.
It almost looked like kind of like 80s indie comic art.
Yeah, for sure.
And I say that in a good way. Like it really looks good.
For sure. Mega Man gets 3 issues this week.
Yes.
Mega Man Legends Timelines, Mega Man ZX Timelines, and Mega Man X #0, which is the start of the Mega Man miniseries.
Yes.
These are running late. It is confusing that all 3 are out, but there are a lot of Mega Man books this week.
We made signs to make sure it was distinct because each one of them also has multiple covers.
Also in single issues this week, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring #5, which is the penultimate issue, which is a really good issue.
It is a big issue.
Yep.
There is
lots of stuff happens.
Intense violence. There is twists and turns and things, and at least a few things I didn't expect to happen.
Same.
So, yeah. Recommended.
Avengers #34, which is also #800, which is Jed McKay wrapping up his Kang and the Midnight Court, whatever they're called.
Sure.
Twilight Court. Versus the Avengers, a big run through of his run and all the stuff that's happened, and then if you want, there's in the backup there's a backup story as Bendis returns to the Avengers, as was written in this, the man who has written more issue Avengers than anyone else, and that sentence makes me very sad.
But he's working with his old buddy Mark Bagley, who he created. What do you call it?
I guess
Ultimate Spider-Man
Bagley came out of retirement for this. He was retired.
Oh, you know what? This is not some short story.
No, I mean, it's like 8 pages.
I feel like it's more than that.
You can count. I thought it was 8.
14. It's at least 14.
Wow. You're right.
Yeah, I know.
You guys hate it when Dave's right.
By the way, whoever did this cover, the main cover, which is a front and back, what do you
wrap
call
around
it? Gatefold the cover.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It is good, and has a bunch of it has what I want, which is more C and D list characters. Which McKay is only doing that on covers.
Yep.
He won't put them in the book.
Yeah, McKay, change your ways.
Yeah. Well, he's got 2 more issues, and then someone's going to change the ways for him.
Yeah, Jack of Hearts made the cover.
And that's right. Jack of Hearts, Moon Knight,
Yep.
Stingray. Stingray didn't get a lot of covers. I do this like 3 covers. Doctor Strange #2, which is more of Doctor Strange and Angela in Asgard.
I liked that.
I need to read that. I forgot that was this is the continuation of the Asgard Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And I did like the first issue. I need to read that.
Battle World #5 wraps up the Secret Wars book that's written exclusively for me. It's a really good finale. They do an unexpected. They don't just all throw down against Korvac. They come up with a way to beat him that I thought was interesting.
Okay.
This is such a good book. I can't wait till they put it out in trade. There's the way they end it. They could do more. I don't know if they will, but I hope they will because I really liked it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #14. This is the second part of Gene Lin Wang and Freddie Williams' new take, and I think we all enjoyed this, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I think Freddie Williams is a good artist for it. It's so detailed and painty in his kind of
it's really nice.
larger than life style, but it's really good.
Yep. Children of the Round Table #5, Tom Taylor's all ages book at DC, continues to be weirdly. It's weird that it's DC. It's always gonna be weird to be in DC because it doesn't feel like it's in the DC universe at all. But it's a fun YA story.
Yep.
And as it goes on, I'm liking it more and more. And then Supergirl #9 this week. I know Dave and I especially have been on board this Sophie Campbell book.
Yep.
She writes this one, but does not draw it. It's drawn by Joe Quinones.
I think it's fantastic artwork.
It's good. It's very different.
We were talking off mic, and I was saying that I wish Sophie Campbell drew every issue of it.
Yep.
But all the guest artists have been really good. And
he's got kind of a. They're doing a little more Archie style, and he was one of the guys who worked on the Archie reboot.
Oh, was he? But this is
so. And this also
it's actually it's more detailed than.
It also reminds me a little of Mike Allred stuff.
There is a little bit of that to it, although I like it better than Mike Allred.
I actually agree. Yeah, it's fun.
It's their New Year's issue,
right.
And without saying too much, this is because it's a lighthearted book and not quite. They're not looking for too much edge here.
Yeah.
Even though Sophie Campbell is a kind of edgy person. And Kara does make out with her tattoo artist in this.
That's true.
But this is a thing where people get drunk at a New Year's Eve party, including people who normally their Kryptonian resistance would overcome it. Yep. But there's a thing where it doesn't, and so there's some drunken antics of Supergirl. But it's also sort of wholesome, which is kind of the charm of the book.
Any other single issues did I miss?
Randy, did you mention G.I. Joe Real American Hero?
I missed it because I gave you my copy to read.
Oh, right. We don't have a ton of the shelf on this, but just to briefly mention, it's a fun standalone issue that's set in space. It has the G.I. Joe space shuttle and a cool battle and encounter. And a kind of a neat twist at the end. Yeah. I think the ending really makes it, and it was a great ending.
He's doing a few more of these self-contained issues in this, and if you're an old school G.I. Joe fan, I recommend checking these out. They've all been the Arctic one was super fun, the space one's really fun.
Standalone issues are some of Hama's best.
Yeah, I think that's it for single issues. There are some trades this week. We've got the Batman R.I.P. trade. This is a weird
from Grant Morrison's
story.
Era, yeah.
This is the one where he's time traveled back, right? Or is this the one where he dies?
No, I don't think so, because those were other artists than not Tony Daniels.
So this is the one where he actually supposedly dies.
Yes.
Okay. There's the Ghost Pepper Volume 1. This has been a popular Image book that gets its first trade. Godzilla Heist, where a crew uses Godzilla to pull a heist.
Yep.
The Marvel Rival...
Weirdly, they got him to be the wheelman.
It's weird, yeah. No, Dave, he's the face. Marvel Rivals poster collection. It's a big, oversized, nice Marvel Rivals art. The Star Trek Lore War, which wraps up the Star Trek run that they did, which I really like that whole run.
Data's evil brother Lore.
Indeed. And then an X-Men Epic Collection, Lifedeath, which concludes not only the Lifedeath issue, which is the Barry Windsor-Smith, Storm just lost her powers, romance with Forge, really, really good, intense issue.
Yep.
But also a lot, like it has the issue, I think it's the issue where she gets shot and loses her powers.
Probably so.
But it also has one where Rogue, Carol Danvers takes over her body and goes to save one of her old S.H.I.E.L.D. agent buddies.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
A lot of really fun stories in this one. Sort of highlights.
Yeah, I think it'd be in the top 2 or 3 best collections of X-Men.
Yeah, agreed. Worth a look. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we'll talk about some trailers, and maybe we'll finally get to talk about Stranger Things.
Yep.
All right, we got a few trailers to talk about. Some pretty notable ones, actually.
Yep.
Well, I guess one super notable one, and then a few weird ones, actually.
Yeah. Sometimes our world of different genres is weird.
So let's talk One Piece Season 2.
To some degree, I'm not quite sure what I just saw.
And that's a good thing.
And that's a good thing, yeah. No, this was...
You saw absurdity.
Yeah, they did, all of the trailers that we've seen, most of which have been some type of teaser trailer, really.
Yeah.
Have had wild appearances and mood and stuff like that, but they don't really tell you what the story is. But we do see that there is a clash between our crew of the Straw Hat Pirates and some sort of Assassin's League or something in this.
Yes, the Assassin's Pirates.
Assassin Pirates, which look ridiculous.
They're
have,
amazing.
Crazy themes. And at least at some point there was a person, I don't know if he was with the Assassins or somebody else, who had the big kind of curly pirate or lordly hair from those days with the big curls
beard,
that had guns in them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I thought a clown that could take his body parts off was weird, but
they're going weirder.
that is
we're
just
getting some different ones.
the standard. That's the standard of it.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
You see at some point, Luffy, their ship, it looks like it's sailing through some canyon of narrow, rocky straits in this storm-tossed waters, and he's doing his stretchy arms and grabbing onto rocks on either side to move the whole boat to make it steer back and forth and avoid the rocks.
That's cool.
It's very cool looking.
Yep.
Brief glimpses of, a lot of the rest of his team. What was that flying thing?
I don't know. It was like a monkey on the back of a bird, and he had a machine gun.
And he had a machine gun.
Surprising amount of machine guns in this.
Yep. And at least a few of the places looked like they had almost a little bit of a Western energy to it. But this is occasionally when I tell people about this, and I start by saying that it's this kind of fantasy of pirates, it's barely pirates.
Yeah.
It is a crazy, otherworldly adventure series that happens to have some stuff that looks a little like pirates on the surface, but it is so much its own thing that that's definitely just the starting point.
Yeah, I was already pretty hyped for this. This trailer has me more hyped, and it's coming on March 10th.
Yep, and they also they managed the thing of being fun and ridiculous without giving anything.
Yeah, we don't really know that much about the story.
I don't know what the big tragedies and things will be.
Right.
The opening narrator was the guy with the Scottish accent who in the first series was...
I don't remember.
Nick, do you remember?
Wasn't that Luffy's, the pirate
mentor? His pirate mentor?
No,
that guy didn't have a... Wait.
I don't know.
I thought he did.
Maybe he did. He did have red hair.
He did have red hair.
Anyway.
Maybe it was. Anyway, it looks good. I think we're all hyped for it.
Yep,
Yeah,
sure.
We will surely be returning to it to review it and stuff as it comes out.
We got a teaser, a really a mood teaser for something called Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Yep.
Which is putting his name on it. That's John Carpenter's The Thing, that kind of
bold.
thing. And this guy he's a good director. I don't know if he's quite reached the John Carpenter level, but
Did they originally do the John Carpenter thing because The Thing was a remake?
maybe so.
Because that's the first one I can think of it being on.
But then it went on everything.
It wasn't like John Carpenter's Escape from New York, I
Nope,
don't think,
it was not.
originally.
It's also not John Carpenter's They Live, right? I think it's just
might
called They
be.
Live.
Not John
Maybe
Carpenter's
so.
Halloween either.
No,
Right, so
that was
the
before.
early ones.
But I was thinking of after.
But by and large, it did become a thing. Now, he was able to back it up with some great movies.
Right. Now, this guy, he did Evil Dead Rise, which I really liked. Took Evil Dead and the place in an apartment complex.
Yep.
Really creepy, gory, effective horror storytelling.
I've heard this, and I've heard this one is quite gory too. I didn't know that it was set in an apartment complex.
Evil Dead Rise?
Yeah. That actually makes it more interesting to me, that kind of unusual focus of the location.
Yeah, there's a great bit where, like, the Evil Dead thing is, like, walking outside and they see it through the apartment peephole.
Am I correct? Like, is Evil Dead Rise, does it have any of the manic comedy?
No, it's pretty straightforward dark.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's like a dark horror thing.
So, this is the Mummy. I think, Dave, you and I were talking earlier, and you and I think, in the same boat here. We're like, we either want...
kind of the classy, eerie vibe of the original Mummy, or the pulp adventure of the 90s Mummy.
And I lean adventure Mummy. If I can have Mummy adventure, that's what I want. But I did really like Evil Dead Rise. I'm open to a scary Mummy story. This has a weird, like, what happened to Katie or something like that.
Yeah, there's somebody who's gone missing, somebody who's, I don't know what's happened. Yeah. But that is like the subtitle of it or something.
It's moody, it's gory, I don't know what's going to happen.
They showed these like flash bulbs going off and making that little pop whine sound, which can't help but recall to me Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is the iconic opening credits of Texas Chainsaw Massacre occur, showing these brief shots of bodies and stuff like that as you hear the pop and whine in the darkness of the of a flashbulb camera. Which, by the way, just as an interesting little side note, Randy, the opening narration that's like, what follows is based on true events and stuff like that is John Larroquette before he became John Larroquette.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he did a few weird things in his very earliest days. But anyway, and then at some point you do see like a scorpion like crawl out of somebody's face or something like this. And like considerably grosser looking effects than, say, the 90s movie where there was...
I thought it was maggots.
No, because you see the little pincher claw.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
No, maybe there were maggots too. I'm not saying there couldn't be.
Because
a lot of stuff, like, it was just a bunch of weird, dark, shadowy, spooky things. But anyway, I think it's like I'm kind of watching, but I can't tell what exactly its deal will be yet.
Yeah.
But I think that people who like that Evil Dead, that's probably the biggest barometer. Like, if you like that, you might like this one.
Yeah. I'm curious about a reinterpretation of a Universal Monsters classic.
Yeah.
So, we'll see where it goes.
Maybe it's a reinterpretation of the Tom Cruise action movie.
Let's not talk about that one. That one was bad.
It was okay.
Then we have Monarch Season 2. I really liked Monarch.
I need to go back and rewatch it because I think I fell off midway. Not that it was bad or anything.
It ends really, really well.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Ending.
So I went through quite the roller coaster watching Monarch, which this is the spinoff of the what do they call those? The Godzilla movies that are that universe? Is it
Titans?
Is it the Titans?
Yes, they call them Titans.
They are called Titans.
But there's like there is a name franchise name for that run.
Oh, the Monsterverse?
Maybe it's Monsterverse, with King Kong and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Skull Island.
So. Yeah, it's called the Monsterverse.
And this follows the Monarch Agency and stuff like that. So it's Kurt Russell and who's the dude who plays young him? Is that just
it's his
Wyatt
son.
Russell?
What's
Wyatt
his name,
Russell.
though?
Wyatt Russell.
And another ensemble. And I went from quite liking it early on to finding like sort of the mid-late episodes were like pulling teeth for me.
It meandered a bit in the middle, but it did finish strong.
And then it did finish strong. So I'm not quite sure where I'll stand on this one, but I do think I do think it had some pretty cool ideas. Didn't Matt Fraction co-show?
I think he was one of the writers. Yeah. I really liked it. I'm super looking forward to.
The trailer specifically shows. There's some
new Titan
that's been awakened. It clearly seems to be some sort of sea creature that's Godzilla sized, but looks like it had like weird tentacles or something like that.
Yep.
I couldn't quite tell what it was. They definitely kept it shadowy.
Kong is notably in this. He was not in the first season.
But wait, didn't that guy say it's not Kong?
Yeah, but he was saying it's not Kong, it's not Godzilla. But they showed both of them. But they were talking. He's talking about the Mystery Titan.
I thought it was that isn't there like a mean Kong that they fought in like the last Godzilla Kong?
No,
movie?
I don't. But yes, but it's not that guy.
Oh, okay.
It actually is Kong. I think that was tying into the whole mysterious Titan thing.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because who we saw was Kong.
Okay.
He's like throwing a car at somebody.
Yeah.
Which he would do.
Sometimes in the shadows, I can't quite tell. Is that this particular giant monkey, or is it a different giant monkey?
It is difficult to know which giant monkey it is. Yeah.
But it's pretty solid little teaser trailer. If you, I think it's like if you're into those MonsterVerse things, you should definitely be checking it out.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of cool that Kurt Russell is still being a badass at the age he's at.
Yeah. and that he's doing a TV show, which is kind of unusual.
Yeah.
But, we do live in an era where more movie stars have found the pleasures of TV. That's right, the pleasures.
That was a weird way to say it. All right, and finally we have the latest Avengers Doomsday teaser. This is the 4th one.
Right, of the short, 30, 40-second or so trailers.
This one introduces, it says Wakanda and the Fantastic Four will be back. So we get to see...
Sure, it starts out with, Shuri?
Shuri and M'Baku.
Yeah, but the way they do that is the kind of notable thing. So they have, like a lot of these, they're taking a pretty serious tone that does remind me of, going into Endgame kind of energy. Yep. And she's like, I've lost everybody in the world who meant something to me, and she's kind of walking through the desert, and then I forget what she's saying when it happens, but then you see somebody kind of walking beside her and kind of move up alongside her, and it's the giant M'Baku.
What she's saying is she's talking about how the king has his duties and she has hers. But as they do that, they also cut over to another king because we've seen Namor in his kingdom.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm glad he's returning.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't sure. And then, M'Baku is next to her, and he is the king of Wakanda now.
Who's the actor who portrays him?
Winston Duke.
Winston Duke. Is Winston? I mean, he's not as tall as they make him in the...
But
he is a big guy, though, right?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And I really liked his portrayal of that character, and so... And is he currently...
He's king of Wakanda.
King of Wakanda?
After the end of Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. And anyway, they...
We can just say it. It's on everywhere.
Yeah. They go striding up to... is it M'Baku who meets the thing?
Yep.
He says his name. He's like, I am so-and-so, king of Wakanda. And he's like, Thing, Yancey Street, New York.
Between Groom and something.
Yeah, he's saying where it is. Like, he's just talking to some dude on the street.
Yeah.
I really like that because I mean, first of all, it's our first real scene of the FF.
In the Marvel Universe.
In the Marvel Universe as we know it. But also because the Wakanda and the Black Panther were introduced in Fantastic Four, so securing those ties in the movies is a very cool thing to me.
Yeah, I liked it too. I'm super skeptical of this. I'm really worried they're going to screw it up, but I really want it to be good.
The Marvel MCU fan number 1 is now worried.
He's shaken. He's
shaken.
Randy is like one of the characters in these teasers. They should show Randy trudging along, and he's like, they've made, every movie they've made that wasn't Marvel has been a flop. He's like, but there is still one hope. The ones that they did make for Marvel were some of the greatest Marvel movies of all time.
Y'all don't know how much my mental stability rests on them not fucking up the MCU. They've already done it a little bit. If these guys come in and tank the whole thing, I'll be so hurt.
I thought last year was a really good year for the MCU.
It was solid. I think the problem is they undercut their We Never Miss. And after that, everybody started noticing all the flaws of all of them. And also, all the people who are cheerleading for it to end have gotten louder and more obnoxious.
I thought Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are pretty flawless.
I like them both quite a bit. I don't know if I loved either one of them. Yeah. I haven't loved a Marvel movie since Endgame. And the Marvels came closest. But the Marvels was kind of cute and fluffy, and there wasn't a lot to it. And people didn't like it.
Well, there's going to be some stuff to this. It seems like the stakes are going to be high.
I bet none of these scenes are in the movie. I bet all this was filmed especially for the trailers.
I mean, knowing the Russos, probably.
They do a lot of that.
You never know.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. I think this is all mood and teaser and will not be part of the reported 3.5 hour runtime.
From what I've heard...
Although I guess when you have 3.5 hours, you can include whatever you want.
I don't know. They Endgame is a long movie, and there's still stuff that could have gone in there.
You know what? And I have no idea how this will be structured, but you know how Weapons was told from sort of 5 or 6 different perspectives. Yeah. You could have these scenes in there if you decided to do something like that, where it's Chapter 1, the Wakandans, Chapter 2, Iron Man, and it all kind of builds to something. I don't actually think that's the structure, I'm just saying. Scenes like this could make it in if they happen to do some sort of structure. The
thing I think is interesting is that they've got to introduce Doom and make him a likable or a good villain in the time they've got, and give him and build him up. Whereas they had multiple movies to do with Thanos and leading up to it. Well, they really just gave him the one movie in Infinity War, but also they've got to reintroduce everybody, because when they were doing Endgame and Infinity War, pretty much everybody had seen all those movies and liked most of them.
Yeah.
They're going to have to introduce Shang-Chi, the Wakandans, Namor, Fantastic Four, all these characters that maybe people didn't see these movies.
I think there will be at least some assumption on their part that people have some familiarity with them.
Sure, but they've got to introduce them in a way that people like.
Right, and that's the challenge. But like when I look at how actually good that they did a lot of that stuff in Endgame and Infinity War, I was able to watch those movies with my sister, who does not watch all the Marvel movies. She'd seen like a third of them, and was able to really have a good time. So So I've been enjoying these. I think it's another good entry.
This was the best one of the teasers for me.
And I've heard we've got one more teaser.
Yeah? Do we know what it is?
Rumor is it's Doom.
I mean, that would make sense.
It makes the most sense, and then we'll have the trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
And then you can stop your whining because you'll have...
The trailer will be great?
The trailer will be great.
We'll see. I'm not whining, Nick. I'm just worried. I'm just expressing worry.
I hope that Doom acts exactly like Robert Downey as Iron Man.
Oh, God. People will flip their shit.
So I guess I'm the leader of Latveria now.
He's making his own little video for Pepper.
They're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
There will be some spin on it.
The thing is, I have a lot of friends who are like really invested in Doctor Doom being a good villain. They're like, they want a very specific Doctor Doom, and I'm like, this is gonna, no matter what they do, they're going to hugely disappoint some giant Doctor Doom fans.
I think this is going to be Tony Stark as Doom instead of...
I think it probably is, too. And
I think
a lot of people do not want that.
Well, so I definitely don't want that, but I would rather that than them try and do the very weird thing of having their most iconic, of the modern Marvel movies hero just become Doom. That said, I know that Robert Downey Jr. as an actor could be up to that.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people who could. He disappeared so hardcore into what's the bomb movie? Oppenheimer?
Oh, yeah.
So hardcore into his character in Oppenheimer that I know multiple people who saw that movie and didn't realize until the credits that was him.
Yeah.
And then he threw himself into Tropic Thunder. And
he did throw himself into Tropic Thunder. He did.
It's true.
An amazing job. Maybe Doom will be like that.
It's possible.
He's in blackface for this entire movie?
What do you mean, you people?
The choice to do Doom in blackface was a bad one. I don't like that.
That did alienate people. You were right. They made a mistake.
I mean, I think this will ultimately probably revitalize the MCU.
I hope so.
I think it will. If it doesn't, then we got our Marvel movies, and we'll see.
We had about 20 movies, and then it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Yep. We'll see. I am.
And we have the DC universe now, so I'm good. I'm good.
I do feel like this is. Part of the reason it doesn't bother me. Well, I'm not as invested. I don't throw myself at my fandoms as hardcore as say Randy and you sometimes do.
It's true.
But also, I joke about this sometimes, but it is sort of true. As the movies go on, they mimic the comics in the sense that you now. Like, if you're a Marvel reader for decades, you've gone through some highs and lows.
Yeah.
I've seen the X-Men so bad that I feel like they've ruined it forever. And then a writer will come on and change things around, and I'll be like, oh, you know what? There's some life left in these guys. And so, and I don't think I've seen anything that was, like, ruinous to Marvel.
Right.
So, like, the movies are actually overall... have only gotten as weak as a mid-level 1980s title. I'm going to say Marvel 80s title. Mostly, like one where I'm like, oh, the guy who was on that for like a year or two kind of soured me on it. We'll see if somebody can turn it around.
We haven't reached any 90s Colossus.
No, not even Eternals is that bad.
Bendis didn't come in and permanently destroy the Avengers. Right. There's still so I remain fairly philosophical about it.
I have hope.
Yep.
Hope
is a dangerous commodity.
It is. But I mean, I think it's going to be a fun time.
Randy is cautiously pessimistic.
Yep, that's my vibe. That's where I am now.
It's a reasonable voice to have in the times we live in.
Yep. I kind of want to return to some of these movies that have been a little.
So I have a challenge for myself that I was going to do my write-ups and like watch them, and as with the first time I tried it, other stuff interfered in my life and made me less in the mood to do it. But also, every time I approach like coming into Eternals and stuff like that, I just lose all my enthusiasm for it.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I do think there are good things in it.
Randy, let me know if you end up watching Eternals, and I will make a point to watch it for the first time.
All right.
I want to watch Black Panther 2 again.
I do too. I actually really liked Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've kind of stalled out on it. It's hard. I keep thinking, I want to rewatch Shang-Chi and that kind of thing. And I liked those movies.
I like Shang-Chi. It's great.
the only one I've gone back to multiple times is like Black Panther or Black Widow.
Yeah.
Black Widow is actually, I think, as good as it's the one that's super underrated.
Yes.
Because it came immediately after Endgame and immediately during the pandemic and had a lot going against it. And so people were ready to hate it.
That movie was...
Every time I watched it, I'm like, that's a really good movie.
The movie is a ton of fun.
It's on the level of a lot of the early one-character Marvel movies. It just had bad timing.
Yep.
But I've already watched that one, so now I'm into the other ones that are a little more shaky. All right. Let's take a break, and then we're going to talk about Stranger Things. All right, so on the internet, you may have seen that the show Stranger Things ended.
Or did it, Randy? Isn't there a secret
Oh, you're right, the secret 9th episode.
that crazy people think is coming out?
They did just put a making of, which I do want to watch.
Is that the secret episode?
Yeah.
So
Stranger Things, I don't remember when season 4 was. It was a while back.
Yeah, like 2-3 years ago?
It could have been longer than that.
I don't think it was longer than that.
It was 2022.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago.
Yep.
May 2022, so 3.5.
Yeah.
You want to be generous. But
so I will say this. I was a person who, like, the gap in between those, since I was, like, always I became a fan of the show, but I was never a super fan.
Same.
And so the gap, it did make me think, I'm like, I don't know if I'm, like, that invested in it that I kind of will care when it comes out.
Same. I was like, I don't really, whatever.
Ironically, that meant that I think I was better suited to it when it did show up. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm watching a few episodes. This is like meeting old friends again.
Yep.
Everybody's clicking.
Yep.
They don't look like they're all like 40-something chain smokers.
Yep. Although everybody liked to make that joke. They're like, oh, they're all in their 30s. And I'm like, really? They did a good job making them look older, but not old.
They did a good job.
They did.
And so, like, I ended up having a very good time with it, where I know some people were just like, oh, the old magic isn't back. And I was like, I think if you were, like, hyper invested, or you kind of let people, like, you're like, you were just unforgiving of the gap.
Yeah.
Which I guess pandemic, writer strike, stuff like that is what caused it.
I mean,
I don't even know quite why it was...
Post-pandemic, 2022, so
I don't know quite why it was so long, or it just slowed things down.
Yeah.
Other actors had other commitments.
Dave, it's funny you say that, because I had the same reaction. I really, really enjoyed this, more than I expected to, and I wasn't really super looking forward to it, and I wonder if, I was like, I like Stranger Things. I've liked every season of it, but it's not what I consider one of my favorite shows or anything. Yeah.
It did have some meaning for me, because, like, during the scary times of the pandemic, that was, like, one of the things that I sort of did to kind of keep my spirits up and keep bonded with, my family, is I would go over to my sister's place.
Yep.
And, like, I think there was even, like, maybe, and we were late to the game by a few years, so we were, like, starting in, we went back to the beginning, but it was at that time, like, on season 3 or something.
Yeah.
But it was, it was one of those shows that I watched to kind of keep the spirits up during the pandemic, and I think a lot of people may remember, certain things as helping them get through that.
Yeah.
So that was one of the ones for me, and it did have some meaning for me. It just wasn't like I wasn't hyper invested.
Yeah, and I mean,
what about you, Nick? Had you been a fan from the beginning?
Yeah.
And are you a super fan?
No, I don't know if I'd say that I'm a super fan of any stripe, but it was one I always looked forward to. I always watched pretty quickly because it
was a fun one to talk about as it came out.
Yeah. And you've been in our lives for so long, like you said. These are kind of old friends coming back to. They're just seeing these people back and kind of interact with one another is a ton of fun, and screw the naysayers, and basically people wanted to tear the show down.
There's a lot of weirdness. I'm weirded out by it, because I remember, like, people are, like, saying it's as bad as Game of Thrones or Lost or whatever. And first of all, even Game of Thrones, it was not a great ending, but I don't think it was like the abominable thing it was. No. And Lost, emotionally, I thought very satisfying. I think some people set up expectations.
Right.
They're like, if they don't nail everything, if they don't do all these questions I have, then they've failed. And I'm like, You cannot set your entertainment up at that level.
Right.
Or you're going to be disappointed in everything, and then you're just a miserable prick posting on the internet.
I will say this: specifically the last I'm going to say episode or two, I think I was a little. It felt a little perfunctory to me. Like I felt like they were kind of going through the motions, but I wasn't as into it. Like it felt a little bit more predictable and controlled, and so I was disappointed in the very ending. I had really enjoyed what was going on before then. The unique, Hawkins, cordoned off. The fact that even if people didn't know what was going on, there was a sense of, well, there's weird things afoot in our town. They knew the military had kind of taken over. There was this cool covert operations where the kids were, sneaking in when the military would go into the Upside Down. And I liked kind of where everybody was. I liked, was it Mike? No, not Mike. Will. I liked his new prominence. And, I think we all loved what they were doing with Robin. And stuff like that. And so I thought it was a really good ride. I do think that the very last 2 to 3 hours for me was kind of disappointing, though.
Interesting. I really liked the finale. I thought what they did with the Mind Flayer was good. I thought the kids focusing up against Vecna. I thought the coming up with a plan, a multi-part between all of them. They gave every character some of the shine. I thought it really worked as a big finale.
Agreed.
I also think we know for sure that some of the people hating this are just mad that there was a gay character in it.
Right.
And they're like, there were no gay people in the 80s. And guys, there were gay people in the 80s.
Right.
But also, Will has been gay. We've seen that since season 3.
Right. You'd have to be blind to not know that.
And some of the people are.
And I think that to some degree, you're I know that my only problem with his sort of coming out scene, which by the way, if you were to come out in the 80s, you did have to make a thing of it.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. It wasn't even remotely as accepted as it is now. And certainly there's assholes trying to push it back too.
Yeah.
But anyway, my main issue was with it was almost more the same thing that who's Mike's sister, Holly.
Yes.
Right? That's his younger sister?
Younger sister,
yeah. And who I really liked in this season. She did a great job.
Yeah, they did good with her,
But,
she's been in the entire show.
I know, but...
Right, but she hasn't had a feature.
She was just the bratty sister for most of it.
But you know how, there was, kind of some jokes and people freaking out when she and Max were, having their heart-to-heart when they're, oh, isn't Vecna hunting you? And you're the doorway you can escape through is, just a few hundred feet off. You should probably go and not have this heart-to-heart right now. I sort of had that same thing because they had just said in 5 minutes, we move and we're making our final plan. And he's like, hey, gang, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
And, as it stopped the momentum of the show and it kind of, it slowed things down. Now, it made sense to me.
It was important because if he didn't unburden himself, Vecna had a weapon against him.
I feel like for me, it might have worked best if it had actually focused on maybe him coming out to a single person, like his mom.
I don't think it would have worked as well, though.
I think part of the group dynamics, I didn't. Maybe it felt a little contrived in the moment.
I will grant you it felt a little contrived, but I'm for that kind of speechifying moments and that kind of thing.
Right. This is not exactly a hardcore realism show. And of course, it made sense plot wise. It is absolutely a weakness that Vecna would exploit.
Yep.
It had all been set up, so it made sense. And I think most of the reactions tend to be homophobic and not plot
people just
critical.
don't like gays in their fiction, and those people don't deserve fiction.
They don't deserve it. Yep.
So I thought the scene with them all together was... The other thing is, we've all played video games where you're told, and now the final battle starts. You got to go now. The villains are... And then we played for 4 days doing all the side quests before. So we know that is artificial.
There's a little bit of a trope there.
And so I don't mind it in my fiction.
It also wasn't Vecna attacks in an hour. It was we get ready to go and begin our final mission in an hour. Yeah. So they knew they had a little bit of time.
Yeah. So,
so let's talk about some of our stuff that we really like, though. Let's talk about some favorite
everything
moments.
With Brett Gelman, who plays the Murray.
Oh,
loved every single bit of Murray.
Murray's great.
Murray's amazing.
By the way, in the episodes leading up to this, I think just prior to it, which were kind of where it peaked for me.
Yeah.
Mike's mom.
Yep.
Yes.
Mike's mom gets
her surprise comeback. Yep. That whole sequence with Robin and her girlfriend in the hospital.
The bit where Robin is explained to her, finally just tells her girlfriend there are monsters and all this stuff, and her girlfriend treats it like she's mentally.
She's like, you're okay, but
you're on drugs, and she's like,
and you need help.
She's like, look at our town. If there's military, does this sound crazy to you in the context?
Yeah,
I love that.
Yep. And
My hawk is a gem.
Yeah, she's great. She is really good in this.
Let's see. I did think, by the way, that it was kind of cool letting it very much full D&D final monster battle.
Yep.
Everybody kind of gets their moments in fighting. The Mind Flayer was
I like Nancy Wheeler's transformation into Linda
Sigourney
Hamilton
Weaver
Terminator.
/
Sigourney
Linda
Weaver,
Hamilton.
Yep. She was great. I thought she was going to die.
Yeah.
They definitely set her up like she was going to sacrifice herself.
Yeah, they definitely did, and I'm actually glad.
I'm glad
no one died. I didn't need that.
Possibly even not 11.
You know what's funny is, I think that is a case where I think I somewhat wanted some of those consequences, like a little bit of a tougher one. And I think that because they sort of set it up, I was like, Murray, it's going to be sad to see him go, but it's going to happen.
I'm glad it did.
But they've been through a lot. I've actually just rewatched the entire series. They've gone through hell.
Yeah. I am definitely team let them all live.
Yeah.
They, was it
the Jonathan and
is
Nancy's...
it Endgame that where Tony dies?
Yeah, Endgame's where Tony dies and Cap retires and all that stuff. Yeah,
and I think like that, Tony having to make that sacrifice did lend it some weight.
It did.
But you know what else I was thinking about though? This is sort of in defense of the show. Lord of the Rings, which is known to have both a very long ending in the final act, but also like a pretty beloved ending.
Yeah.
In that final movie. Over the course of things, Boromir dies, Gandalf dies and comes back.
Yep.
Various NPCs die.
Yeah.
But does there anybody else major?
None of the Fellowship. No.
None of the Fellowship.
Like Gollum dies, but that's kind of
that's its redemption.
He was a sort of redemptive thing, and he was practically villainous half the time anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like, but nobody else really does, as far as I can remember. Merry and Pippin don't die. Eowyn doesn't die. Arwen doesn't die. Legolas doesn't die. And I was like, you can enjoy something without there being like, everybody.
I mean, Star Wars. Nobody dies in Star Wars except for Ben at the very beginning and Vader at the end.
Yeah, I guess it's Ben midway through.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm talking about the trilogy.
Oh, the whole thing.
The trilogy.
Yeah, kind of true.
They didn't even kill off like Lando where they were talking about doing it. They didn't do it.
I care more about the character interactions, and when you get scenes like the Jonathan and Nancy,
that was really good.
Them sort of discussing their relationship.
That for me was actually like the peak drama of the whole show right there.
That was really good.
And by the way, those actors both gave it their all.
Yeah.
But I actually think Henry became a really interesting villain.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Creepy.
They did tease his redemption, and then I'm
glad they didn't do it.
I was actually trying to remember because I have I don't know the show that well. When we actually don't know the exact deal with the briefcase, right?
Correct.
That is something that's
something for the
bit of a
animated
mystery,
series.
But was clearly tied into that.
Yeah.
Was he just a sociopath when he realized he had these psychic powers?
I think so.
And
I thought the Upside Down basically corrupted him.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Is I think there was a certain thing where,
because he was
basically he couldn't turn back. He'd gone too far.
Right. Yeah.
I think he was.
But he was not without sympathy in the end, and I thought that was the scenes in the caves were interesting and cool.
And technically, if you don't believe Mike's story about 11 surviving and all that stuff, then 11 died.
Yeah, and I like that they kind of had both ways because they're like, if you want to sacrifice 11, sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't, here's the story of what could have happened. And I'm very much like, no, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
And then they did kill off 11's buddy 8.
Yeah,
what's her name? Cully.
That was a little bit harsh, I thought, because they hadn't built her up into a beloved character. In fact, Hopper was suspicious about her.
Yeah.
And I think fandom was. And then to say nope, she was actually always trying to help.
Yep.
It's I felt bad that they hadn't kind of built her up into so much stronger
Hopper
character.
enjoys getting to go to Enzo's.
Yep.
I mean, just there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, the epilogues and stuff were great. Hopper proposing.
My favorite epilogue part was, in fact, Dustin's speech.
That was so good. The Hellfire Club. Yeah.
Well, the speech is what Eddie was going to do.
Yeah.
Was it?
Eddie
had planned to do exactly that. Yeah.
And it was nice to sort of see that.
That's pretty cool.
That done in that fashion.
I have one sort of plot thing where I was just like, this one is I think a place where they slipped, which is I don't understand why the military let them go when they came through.
I believe that was sort of a the military only wanted 11, and once 11 was dead, there was no reason to hold them for anything.
I get that idea, but these are like have done some like so much Black Ops stuff.
Yeah.
The idea that they would let these kids go who have like know way more about them than anybody else and are their arch enemies.
Yeah. I think there's a only so much time kind of issue with that too.
The military just slaughters the town.
No, I think you have a fairly simple thing where somebody, you see Elle seemingly do what is a last ditch thing where she makes all of them fall unconscious for a few seconds. While right after they think she's in a move they think kills her, and then the heroes escape.
Did Paul Reiser's character die? He's still alive, right?
I believe he's still alive.
Because actually, if they could have had him back, he could have come in and basically said, he could have come in at the last minute and been like, all right, shut all this down, go, because he outranks everybody or whatever. So.
Something like that, you don't have to make too big a thing out of it.
I agree.
But
that was my only major plot point.
It was one thing in a very long episode.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I will say, I felt like they underused Linda Hamilton.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
She's great, and she's more capable of being she was a very one-note villain. I think
she was the boss, but she didn't have a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
Whereas Paul Reiser and, for sure,
Matthew Modine
had been
like
very
really complicated,
interesting.
And Henry, for that matter.
Yeah.
I thought it was too bad to bring her in to make her a one-note heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we would all say this was a journey that we've enjoyed taking over the last, 6-8 years, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
For these characters.
So it started in 2016. I looked this up. It's been 10 years.
Okay.
But season 2 was the next year, and then season 3 was 2 years, and then season 4 was 3 years. So it was getting longer.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I also saw just kind of watching the first few minutes of the behind the scenes. It's like the amount of money and time it took to craft this stuff is more than some movies.
Yeah.
And they have to do in hour-long episodes, a production of all the upside down, all the different sets. It's a lot of it's time consuming, and I am super happy that Netflix decided to just let them do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And give the Duffer Brothers, I know they had some previous credits, but there was nothing huge yet.
Right, yeah.
And to be they were one of the breakout Netflix originals, and to have seen that to fruition is pretty impressive.
I'm also appreciative that we're going to get these actors and other things now, because this introduced us to they're really good actors.
Yeah.
I mean, Finn Wolfhard is who he is, and he's doing kind of weird stuff, but I'm glad he's kind of going the Daniel Radcliffe route.
Yeah.
But
Mr.
we know where Sadie Sink is going to be in the Marvel Universe.
Right. Yep. Nick, I don't know if you saw, we talked about this last week, but there's a third Enola Holmes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did see that after we talked about it. I'm like, Millie Bobby Brown. I
really like her in that role.
She seems to be sticking with Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because she did that princess movie about the dragon, which was interesting. And David Harbour is going to David Harbour.
Whatever he's doing, I don't know. Yep.
Winona Ryder.
I don't know what she'll be doing.
No, but I like her. She's great.
Yeah. I have heard the rumors that Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey.
I've heard rumors too, and I can see that.
I think she would be probably a good casting choice.
Yeah. That she's going to show up in Spider-Man is a little strange, but...
Oh, that's right. It's we know she's in it. We just don't know for sure.
Well, I think people have been casting her as Jean Grey. I think it's possible she may be Emma or Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
But they're going to just flip it so that Gwen Stacy's the redhead.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know.
I don't know her age, but isn't she'd be notably younger than
I think she's the same age as Zendaya and Tom Holland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought that Tom Holland was 40 now.
He's not.
I mean,
maybe 30.
Yeah, he still looks like he's 12. So
he does look like he's 12.
He's got the Ralph Macchio problem where they're he's I can't.
Sorry,
you can't have me in a relationship.
It's stuck.
I'm 40. And I can't date this 16-year-old. So, the Stranger Things is season 5 is Netflix's number 6 most popular English language series of all time. So it definitely, for all the people who are griping online and review bombing it, it's done very well for them.
Right.
Yeah.
So. I doubt they have any major
regrets.
I mean, I will say Netflix is. I can't think of a water cooler moment that they're having other than this right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can bring it out. They can try. They're always trying.
Yeah. Well, hopefully One Piece season 2 will be super good.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be a niche. I mean,
It is. We all love it, but you're right. It's
But
Our
it's-
water cooler, but not the average water cooler.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know. Do the average One Piece fans, the people who like grew up with the manga, did they like
They
it?
liked it. Yeah, the manga
Okay.
people actually
Actually
liked
did.
because it's got the creator involved in it.
Yeah.
And that helped.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, like, we talked about this. They had the creator in on Cowboy Bebop too, but people
Yeah.
didn't like that one. I guess it just
too bad.
it
It was
wasn't
good.
close enough or
Yeah.
whatever.
That one, they hated that one. That breaks my heart because I loved
I
the live
liked
action
it. It was
Cowboy
great.
Bebop. I'm always gonna be mad at all the people who didn't.
Me too.
We didn't get that season 2.
The actor who played who's his partner in it? I don't remember any of the characters' names because I didn't watch the anime much growing up. Who's his partner?
Oh, Faye Valentine.
Nope, black guy.
Oh man, I don't remember his name.
Spike, Faye, and
I don't remember
and
his
why
name.
can I not think? Of
I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah, he was really good.
yeah, he that actor who portrayed him wrote like the coolest, classiest like.
He did.
Yeah, he
like
did.
when that show got canceled, he's like, yeah, it does suck. He's like, but in the end, he's like, I got to portray this character, and he's like, I have no regrets, and like we all gave it our all, and like he was just super cool. I wish better for him. I wish he had.
His name's not Jet Black, is it?
I think
It is.
Okay.
It is Jet.
And Jet is another word for black, or it's a version of black. So in the color theory world. But anyway, he did a great job.
Yeah. All right, that'll wrap it up for us this week. We'll be back next week with more. Until that time, yo Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.